First thing is deconstructing the quarterback position and deciding what we're trying to train and develop in these individual drill settings. I wrote a book that goes into great detail about the 5 elements of elite quarterback and the 5 things that elite quarterbacks do at an extremely high level. However, in individual drills, we can't train all of those things. So looking at the list here, basically one is pre-snap decision making and communication. Well, in an individual setting, we really can't do that. 2, the ability to see from the pocket accurately and without distraction. Again, can't really work that. 3, the ability to get the ball in the hands of other skilled players by working through progression. Can't really work that. 4, the ability to deliver the ball with consistent accuracy. Absolutely can work on that. As well as 5, the ability to protect the football, and that's a byproduct of accuracy. In a nutshell, individual drills for the quarterback are all about developing and refining his ability to consistently throw the ball with accuracy. And how we do that, we want to refine and rep the actual throwing motion itself from neutral, and we want to work on our drops, footwork, and movement technique to maximize how quickly and consistently we can get back on balance and in neutral to deliver a throw with consistent accuracy. Neutral is the balanced, stable position we get to right before we throw the ball, whether we're playing catch with our buddy or at the top of our drop in the pocket. So everything we do from a footwork standpoint is an attempt to get back to neutral. So you can see here, gun 1 to the right, quarterback's going to flash, get around, get to neutral, and then start his normal throwing mechanics. Same thing here, gun 3 to the left with a hitch, gets back to neutral, delivers the ball. Even on the run, you can see the shoulders and upper body trying to get to neutral before the mechanics start. So it's very important to understand these things when we're training the position. In-game accuracy is very similar to being an elite basketball shooter in a game. So there are 4 elements that accuracy is tied to. The first is a pure and fundamentally sound motion. And the most important part of that motion is how consistently can you replicate it in a perfect environment. Are you a 50% three-point shooter against air or a 90%? Same thing with throwing a football. Are you accurate 99% of the time throwing versus air, or is it 50%? The next part is your footwork and movement mechanics. How consistently does your footwork get you on balance, and how many times does your footwork fail you and not get you back on balance? That's what's so impressive about Curry and these guys, that they need no space. They're so quick and efficient getting back on balance because their footwork's so good. The same applies to quarterbacks. The last part is the X factor, the shot making, throw making ability. When you're off balance or things are too chaotic, still find the ability to make a shot or deliver a ball. And some guys have that, some guys really don't. So we'll talk about the progressions and drills we use to develop these elements and some of my beliefs on those topics. So let's talk throwing mechanics. I try and keep things as simple as possible. Start with a stance and base, wide base, a little wider in shoulder width, ball up into the chin, shaving the chin. Don't overcoach that. We don't need it turned out or back loaded, just up around the chin area. Guys are going to reset it right before they throw it anyway. The upper body in the stance here is very neutral, dangerously close to being closed. I prefer quarterbacks are slightly open up top. Neutral's fine, but what I don't want is them closed off so you see the back of their shoulder. Next thing I'm talking about is front shoulder finish at your target. Get that left elbow, that left knee, that left toe, that left shoulder, everything going towards your target. From here, the big key is what the off arm does. Does it go lateral or does it go vertical tight to the body? I'm a huge believer that it's one of the most undercoached things. The arms are pendulum. So if that arm stays tight, you're going to get a nice vertical over the top release point like that. If the arm goes lateral, well, it's going to be a much more three-quarter motion. So what we've done is we've created a throwing progression that reverse engineers the throw to work on each element. So we start with the finish, that'll be dart throws, then pull downs, then zero angle throws, and then we have throws from break right there, and then of course total throws from neutral. So we'll talk you through it right now. First is dart throws. They're working their release, turn that thumb down, taking their hand and fingers right to their target. It's almost going to look like you're snapping your wrists on a jump shot, but just working on the ability to snap your wrists and get the ball to spin coming out of your hands, and work on some finesse there and the finish of the throwing motion. Next we have pull downs, where we get to kind of a release point and turn the ball away so we load that wrist, and then I just encourage them not to use a lot of arm effort, but just let their arm fall and snap their wrist. And our aiming point on that is the crotch we know that the wrist is naturally going to go to that hip, but we try and really pull it down vertically. So you can see it from the side angle. Again, trying to encourage them not to use a lot of effort, just let their arm fall and really emphasize the wrist snap. Notice the alignment, how the quarterback sets on this, chest to his target, both biceps squeeze, balanced, and now off arm vertical, squeeze the bicep, ball right past the ear, then get to extension. So I like how tight his zero angle is on his throwing arm, and he doesn't lift it. He is tight past the ear, then gets to extension. However, I would like to see a little more force generated with his off arm. It's fairly tight to the body, but we need to be a little more violent with that off arm. Break is the position you get to when you separate your hands. So your front foot should step and toe get off midline, 90 degrees with that back elbow rotated down. And where we don't want to take the ball is way back up behind our head like that. Otherwise, we're going to have to go real lateral and wrap around to get that ball out. So the other thing is when guys throw, you want to watch and see, does the ball disappear all the way behind their head like that? And they're throwing it from behind their head. I don't like that. Breeze, throwing from break, a couple different shots so you can understand what it is and what it isn't. Back to the actual drill, stepping off midline. You want to really encourage them to be fluid. Get the tension out, tight bicep, and snap your wrist and hand at your target. Really try and be whippy with this. Vertical off arm, and really start to groove the throw and spin the football. Target can be at 10, target can be at 15 or 20 if you really want to. But again, it's really just trying to hit those landmarks, getting that front elbow at your target, tight bicep, taking your hand to the target with the vertical off arm are the big points of emphasis. That's a better ball right there. Finally, we go neutral throws, having the quarterback throw into a target straight ahead from neutral. Sometimes we'll make them go feet and start chattering their feet and then say throw, so it's a little more live stimulus. But again, we're really just trying to make sure they hit their landmarks and cycle through. The other thing, we'll start them at half speed or 3/4. Go half speed throws, and then we'll tell them to go full speed throws. And again, really try and feel the different elements of the mechanics. Looking at a couple of these reps in slow-mo. Again, you see the off arm's pretty tight to the body. I like to see a little more. I like the finish. Bicep could even be a little tighter there as he comes through. But again, neutral, foot getting off midline, taking the hand to the target, pulling the finish down, off arm's tight. Last one, we'll kind of buzz through all our points. So start with break, not bad there. Zero angle's pretty good. Extension, hand to the target, pulling the finish down, decent base, on balance when he finishes there. So that's pretty close to what we're looking for. So a staple drill is just, I call it resets. So we're going to do a handful of them. First one is just feet and throw. I say feet, they move their feet. I say throw, they throw the ball. So I like putting them on the line here so I can evaluate their feet as to whether or not that front foot is getting off midline and allowing the hips to come through. So it's the idea that we're in the pocket, we get stimulus, now we got to put our back foot in the ground and get the football out. 90-degree resets to the left now. It's very simple. Do you have the ability with your footwork to slide and turn 90 degrees, get on balance in neutral, and get the ball out? So here you can see the quarterback does a pretty good job of getting to neutral, and you can just begin that mechanical process that we've been repping for the last however many minutes. And so again, this drill sounds really easy, but the big thing is we want to see his ability to move and reset and now restart that good neutral motion. As you saw, a pretty bad rep right there, and then he comes back with a much nicer one there. Teaching the base, I like a real wide base. Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning-esque, chopping the feet, kind of duck walking, staying on balance to your target. Next we'll have 180-degree blind resets. So they'll move their feet, I'll say right or left, and they respond accordingly, spin, get to neutral. I really want them to chop their feet, keep their base underneath them. Also, if you do this and put a receiver run around, it's another great way for them to have to turn and blind track the receiver and deliver an accurate football. I think the ladder is great for training foot speed and helping your feet develop the ability to pick up and reset underneath you. We try to make it a little more functional by doing ladder resets where we'll have a coach give a call. He'll either say left or right or just step out, which tells the quarterback to react, get on balance, and deliver a ball from neutral. So it just makes this drill a little bit more functional, a little more position specific, And again, we're just training our guys' ability to react to a call, get to neutral, and get the football out. We'll also do it where now they step out and have to throw on the run, which again, great pre-practice thing. Get their legs going a little bit as well, but also working the ability to fast feet, step out, get on the run, flash the shoulders, deliver a football. Another drill I really like to work footwork and the ability to reset, the figure 8 drill. We're going to really emphasize having a wide base and whatnot as well on this, so we can react and get the football out quickly. But basically just set up 2 cones like that, and guys are just going to weave. I tell them they can go any direction. Also give them a reverse call, which you got right there, and when I clap, throw me a football. And so this is great. Again, pocket manipulation, the ability to move, the ability to change direction, while keeping your base underneath you and being ready to get the football out at all times. I tell them, hey, if you need to peek at the cones, feel free. But again, we're going to work that change of direction, those different things, those sudden change things. Now when they get the command, they got to get back on balance and get the football out. Wave drill, which everybody does, but I just want to touch on really more the why than the how. So we're trying to simulate slight pocket movement. We don't want big steps, wide base, constantly staying on balance, and little 6-inch movements like you're in a phone booth. And as soon as you get that clap, get that foot in the ground and get the ball out. He does a great job of moving, staying in neutral, staying on balance. The delivery wasn't great, but his footwork is really pretty good here. Last thing we'll touch on is throwing on the run. And so what we're really looking for or trying to do is get our top half back to neutral. So right here you see him as he gets around, he flashes his shoulders, and that's back to kind of that neutral break position as he starts the delivery. That way we can continue to throw from that consistent position we've been training this whole time. So we'll throw from this feet in concrete position, and initially a lot of times I'll start by saying flash and then throw, but there you go, flash and throw. Obviously a terrible rep there, front shoulder flew out, but that's much better there. Get that front shoulder to the target and then go ahead and make that neutral top throw that we've been working over and over and over. So weight should be forward, kind of jumping through the toes there. Flash, pull that vertical off arm, snap the shoulders, and take your hand right to the target is what we're looking for on this. Now rather than saying flash throw, I just say ball, and he's got to do it in one clean motion. So built into it should be the flash of the shoulder and then the delivery. And so now we're doing it where he's just walking at the target. I say flash, he flashes, and I say throw, he throws. And so we're just starting to kind of build, and this is great with younger quarterbacks, kind of building that feeling on the run. You flash that shoulder, get that front shoulder your target, and then snap your shoulders through vertical off arm and take your hand to the target. So we'll start to pick up the pace. I'll also just go from saying flash throw, where I give them the visual commands, to just saying ball, so it becomes one smooth motion. So ball, and now it's really on them. Here's a look at the quarterback not doing a great job clearing that off arm and really cycling it through, so it kind of blocks his motion there. We really want to encourage him to pull that vertical off arm through and cycle the shoulders around and take his hand to his target. Now making the drill a little bit more applicable or live, also adding some lateral movement to it, having to get downhill to our target, and really trying to encourage guys to go to game tempo. So whether it's a boot, it's a sprint out, whatever it may be, we gotta make that 180, 90-degree turn, get downhill, take all our momentum in our target, flash that front shoulder, take our hand to the target, pull it down, and finish. Working to the left, you can see how hard he works to flash this shoulder and get back to neutral. It's a really nice rep there. Take your hand to your target and pull it down. One last rep to close. When it comes to throwing on the run, I really just preach front shoulder at your target, which he does a great job here. Finishing at your target, and you always have a chance to be accurate. Great rep there.